Hey everybody, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Miranda, and for those of you who are familiar with me, welcome back to my channel. Today the Lord wants me to release another word regarding kingdom marriages, but this time we're talking about it directly for the singles. So the other day the Lord had me release a word where it pertained to those who are believing for marriage, so you could stick it into the coat closet until your season came, but it was mainly for those who are actually already married, and the Lord is kind of just giving you a little bit more clarity as to what is going on in this current season. Now for the singles, if you're a gentleman believing for your God-ordained wife to be revealed to you, or for the Lord to lead you to your God-ordained wife, this word is for you. If you are a wife in training and a wife in waiting, and you're believing that the Lord is going to bring you to your husband because that's what he promised, this word is for you. This word was developed a couple of days ago when I asked the Lord specifically, what is it that you would like me to convey to your children, Lord? What is going to be the subject matter of this next video? He already revealed to me that we still have this word to release. After I prayed that prayer, I let it go and I started talking to the Lord about something else, but then I heard a word drop into my spirit. It was literally one single word. And the important part is not the word in and of itself. It's the fact that when the Lord dropped it in my spirit, the first time, because it just seemed so simple and random, I immediately dismissed the word. The second time I heard it, within the space of that 5-minute time frame, I knew it was the Lord speaking, so then I decided to just Google the word, just randomly Google the word. I Googled the word, and lo and behold, usually you would think has nothing to do with unions. It ended up being about unions. One of the definitions of the word was termed romantic unions. Specifically, after it states that it's regarding romantic unions, it details the definition as be responsible and cautious in your attitude, in love, because this will foster stable and enduring relationships. So in the word that the Lord had me release the other day, it was all about making sure that the foundation was, like the foundation of the building was, had no cracks. And if it had any cracks, the Lord would reveal it. And if the Lord himself didn't make his hand push to reveal it, he would allow the enemy to do whatever he felt like doing, because there was access given to the enemy by that crack within the foundation. Additionally, the crack in the foundation would eventually reveal itself due to the faultiness of that foundation. That was for the folks who are already married. For the folks who are not yet married, the Lord is calling you to ensure that you are building on a firm foundation yourself and your purpose, so that when you do come into union with the one that the Lord has designated for you in this kingdom marriage partnership, then you don't have those faulty foundations and those cracks in the foundation to worry about once you say I do. You'll have other challenges, but these things that people can be dealing with after they say I do, you've already taken care of it. That's why this season when you are single is so important to the Lord. Going back to the definition of the word that I found the other day, romantic unions, be responsible and cautious in attitude and love. This will foster stable and enduring partnerships. These two words, responsible and cautious, the Lord is not only encouraging you to let you know that the spouse is literally right there. He just needs to check these boxes. He's also cautioning you to make sure that you go into the relationship with an attitude of responsibility and cautiousness, and that you don't allow irresponsibility and carelessness to take a hold of you. Immediately when I saw the definition, the word responsible and cautious brought me to the book of Proverbs, because if you read the book of Proverbs, it's decorated all over the place with being responsible and being cautious. Namely, Proverbs 14 verse 16, it says, a wise man fears and departs himself from evil, but a fool rages and is self-confident. Being responsible requires you to be wise. It requires you to be prudent. It requires you to depart from evil. That is what being responsible is about. If you notice, what another scripture within the Proverbs says, if you notice that a company of friends are about to go and devour somebody and invade their autonomy for whatever reason, just because they feel like it's fun, it is wise for you to depart from them. The Lord wants you to be wise so that you don't have to ask for mercy in these unnecessary situations. In the same way, be responsible and be cautious when you do come upon your God-ordained spouse, when you do come upon the spouse that the Lord has ordained for you, and the spouse that the Lord wants you to unite with in this season. Because what's going to happen is that if you are irresponsible, if you are careless and throwing caution to the wind, the end of the phrasing, it says, this will foster stable and enduring relationships. If you are careless, if you are irresponsible, you are fostering instability and dismantled relationships, inconsistent relationships. Ladies, if your husband appears tomorrow, are you going to exercise wisdom where the Lord is concerned? Gentlemen, if the Lord shows you who your wife is tomorrow and you decide that you want to pursue that woman, are you going to be responsible with her? Are you going to take responsibility for and be accountable to your own actions? Are you going to be responsible for her heart? We have to bear these things in mind and not just think about marriage being all peaches and cream. There's a level of accountability that each party has to exercise as well. So just to conclude, the Lord is urging us to get familiar with wisdom, hold it close to our bosom, and do not let it go. A good place to start is reading the book of Proverbs to gain wisdom and insight into the Lord's mind and how He would like us to process our thoughts, how He would like us to naturally think. The second place to go is reading the book of Song of Solomon. That will help you to understand the level of passion and love that the Lord wants you to have for the spouse that He has for you, but how and why He needs you to ensure that you are being responsible and cautious with your love and passion and not awakening it before it's time. And finally, asking the Lord to help you become familiar with what 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 7, essentially defining what love is, describing what love is. How does that look for you? How does that look in your life? How does that look to Him for you? Gentlemen, if you are fearful, God did not give you a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Additionally, you know you found something from the Lord. You will obtain favor because you have found something from the Lord. So do not allow the devil to speak to you, because once you can identify a thought as the devil's, like sending it to you, you can immediately dismiss it. Understand that you are a child of God. You don't interact and you don't tolerate Satan and his antics. It's all it means to try and keep you stuck. Ladies, ensure that you are staying close to the Lord. You are staying close to His heart. Make sure that you are praying for your husband's heart, praying for your future husband's heart, and praying that the Lord continues to reveal to you what other cracks in your foundation are present so you can hurry up and work on them. These cracks in the foundation can be solved by being responsible and cautious, asking the Lord what He would want you to do, consulting with the book of Proverbs and seeing what is the instruction for this area of my life. You want to have as little amount of cracks within your foundation prior to your husband walking up to you as possible. Husbands, the same thing. As you are allowing the Lord to lead you to the wife, or as you are allowing the Lord to lead you in and instruct you on how to propose to the wife, or even how to even marry your wife, you need to be asking the Lord, where are the cracks in my foundation, and how do we get it covered up before she and I say I do. This is encouragement, because the Lord can have you read the book of Proverbs tonight, and because you did that, you did a prophetic activation, your spouse comes and meets you tomorrow. Or God has you read the book of Song of Solomon tonight, that's a prophetic activation, and gentlemen, you find out and the Lord reveals to you who your spouse is this evening. It's a thought just comes up in your mind. These are prophetic activations where the Lord is doing the finishing touches, because He needs this to be ushered out as quickly as possible. He needs this to come to the forefront as quickly as possible. The dirtier and uglier that this world gets, the more urgent it becomes to the Lord for the world to see how Christ loving the church and the church submitting to Christ looks from a natural perspective that modern man can understand. And just a word of warning: this is going to happen suddenly. This is going to happen quickly. This is going to happen swiftly. Do not get impatient. The Lord is giving you mercy. This is the Lord's mercy. He's exercising his mercy so that you can get this stuff right. Because if he gave you the opportunity to work out some of the cracks in your armor now, and you decided that you wanted to sit there and pout, you're going to still have to work it out later. Because God doesn't skip processes. You may think you have skipped a process, but the Lord will, if you fail the test, he's going to bring that test right back around again. So get it right the first time so that you don't have to take it the second time. Because the second time, it may be at a very inconvenient time, or supposedly inconvenient time. It may look inconvenient to you, but the Lord knows what he's doing. The Lord means that you're going to learn whether you learn it the easy way or the hard way. Additionally, some things to pray about is connected to the previous word on marriage that I spoke on. Pray that the Lord helps you with your communication, give you the vernacular that is congruent to the understanding of your spouse. What can speak in a way and in a language that your spouse can understand. Ask the Lord to either reveal or help you learn how to communicate with your spouse, whether you know who your spouse is or you don't just yet. The next thing is ask the Lord to continue to transform your heart and remove any of the rough edges from around it. You don't want to enter a marriage with any rough edges around your heart that you should have already been working on and should have already had taken off of your heart prior. And you want to ask him to replace your heart of stone and give with a heart of flesh. Be soft-hearted, because forgiveness is one of your best weapons in a marriage. And strategy, doing everything God's way down to the T. Proverbs 3 verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and don't lean on your understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he'll make your paths straight. Unnecessary detours are a thing of the past this season, once you're walking in wisdom and once you're leaning on the Lord. So adhere to the Lord's schedule. Please take this word back to the Lord for confirmation and further revelation and insight, and I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord leads. Bye.